Yes, it's my birthday today, January 6, 2019. And as they say, you are as young as you feel. And I feel like I could be ageless. That's the position I take now. Although even though there's some things that I get engaged in that have certain age restrictions, even things I may start. But today it is about celebration, being grateful and happy to celebrate, being fortunate enough to still be alive in this human body which still maintains a good amount of health without too much effort, and I'm grateful for that because I do admit too often that I do have a little bit of a lazy gene, and sometimes I don't feel like doing anything. I don't want to exercise, I don't want to do anything, and I don't. But it doesn't last long. Thank goodness my body tells me to get up off my lazy butt and do some yoga or some qigong or walk a little bit. So, here I am in Homer, Alaska, and this is the first edition and broadcast of Woman of Color, Tell Your Story. And this will be a forum, a gathering place, a community, a circle of women of color, for the woman of color who identifies as such. Now, I call myself a black woman who supports the woman of color because I've been called everything and some things you wouldn't want to be called in my life, but always some kind of a woman of color. And today we're not going to get into discussing all the pros and cons of that combination of words because I have chosen it and there's reasons and I will talk about those later. Today I'm into the mode of celebration because I'm trying something different with this new year, trying to deal with the social media and the marketing and the getting known and all that stuff they've been telling me for the past 3 years that I have to do. And I have been trying them in different formats. So this is a new format and another way, less stressful and hopefully more entertaining, informative, and maybe even educational. Although usually education sometimes has such a negative connotation. But some of us do like to just learn. Some of us like to type something into the search bar and see how much we can expand our minds. And some of us actually even like to go to the library and look up some things in books and read and hold a real, well-made, well-written book. That's wonderful. But today we're dealing with the virtual world through video over the internet, and I'm grateful that you are here and have stopped by to take some time to watch and listen to me, because maybe you know me and maybe you don't, and maybe you're a woman of color looking for something that will interest you. Well, what are you interested in? The world, the universe is ours. And that's how vast our interests are. But I have to begin correctly because it is Woman of Color, Tell Your Story. So I need to tell my story. And yes, I do have a story. We all have a story. And we have many stories. Many, 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 many stories. Today I'm going to tell a quick run through of my whole life. I'm an only child, but I have 7 brothers and sisters. I was conceived in Reno, Nevada, and born in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have practiced many different religions, but am now trying to live the life of a Buddhist. And I have been happily married for 21 years, and we live in Homer, Alaska, the end of the road, the little hamlet by the sea. I get up in the morning and look out my window over a bay, snow-capped mountains, bald eagles sitting on rooftops, giving their high-pitched cry as they fly over the trees and dance on the wind waves. That's what I see every day. And I can't help but say, yes, I am so grateful and so lucky to live in this beautiful environment. And I do my best to help it continue to be beautiful and to last, and for us to be compassionate people and to care about others and recognize how fortunate we are, those of us who do have some things. So that was my whole life story in a real nutshell. And so what should we focus on for this story is maybe age. Now, I come from a fairly long lineage on my father's side and a little bit of a shorter lineage on my mother's side. And as a Buddhist, every day I'm cognizant and grateful that I'm still alive and that I do things to be compassionate, to help people and try and be good and do good, so that my next rebirth will be taking me on closer to enlightenment and being of benefit to all sentient beings. Because isn't that what we're here for? Just to help other people, because otherwise we're just here. And even if we're just doing what we love to do, which is our art or our dance or our music, we still do it and trust someone will get some little bit of benefit from it and like it as much as we do. Because it's beauty. And it makes life enriched and beautiful and meaningful. So that was a kind of totally random runoff in a totally wrong direction of my life story. But there's so many, and we should, though, be able to tell one story, and we're talking about age. And I said that between my parents, I may live, inshallah, God willing, whatever, as long as I live. But we live through those who love us and through the work we do. And some of us sometimes can actually leave our work behind if we're writers or artists or entrepreneurs who create institutions that last past the founder's physical presence on the earth. So there's so many aspects of age and being right now in this moment. So right now in this moment, I'm of the age when many sensible women are enjoying their retirement. Some choose to be professional grandmothers. Others are traveling the world. Some have new professions or occupations. And some, like me, are starting businesses. And I've been doing this for a while, and really the concept of business is interesting, and I'm actually learning more and more every day. But it's more about an exchange of services and information from one person to another. And it's what's needed for us to continue to live and to take care of the earth and our families, our loved ones, children, parents, brothers, sisters, spouses. So I have a lifetime of varied experiences, pretty much between creative and healing, with more the emphasis on the creative. And I want to share this information and enable other women of color, for all of us to be able, who are interested, who have a lot in common, who want to do more than just build our own wealth, but to share it, to help other women of color, to help the woman of color who may need a little bit of help because of circumstances that any of us may encounter sometime. From natural disasters to deaths in families, deaths of spouses, to, the unexpected end of a job. All of these things have happened to all of us. And how many times have we felt so alone? But you're not alone. There are thousands of women just like you meeting these same challenges every day. And I haven't done a worldwide survey, but I did read articles and see some statistics that prove what I've said is true. And I said, well, this is interesting. And what can we do to come together so we don't feel alone? I mean, what really motivated me was when I read articles with young women working in businesses saying and experiencing the same things I did over 20 to 30 years ago when I was young and working in other people's businesses. I said, well, this is not right. This is not progress. But I've been through it, and other people have, and there's ways of getting through it, and now there's so much opportunity where we can help each other, where no one should feel like they're struggling alone or that they can't achieve what they want to achieve, have happiness and fulfillment with their work, and not be judged on the color of their skin or how they wear their hair or their accent or their last name or if their head's covered or not covered. None of those things matter. What matters is having a shared purpose, wanting to truly be of service to something other than just your own self or your own immediate family and paycheck. So that's the kind of woman of color that will be drawn here. And hopefully we'll start having conversations. Because right now, I'm involved with finding the woman of color who has a story to tell. And I'm also interviewing women to find out, outside of what I've read, what your life really is like. And the thing is, we all have two stories. We've got the, oh, I'm beat to death, I'm so tired, I'm so depressed, people are so mean to me. Oh, but I am so lucky and so fortunate. I have a loving family, beautiful children, wonderful parents, and I've had a reprieve from my job. There's this whole balancing act, all these wonderful stories that we can share and tell and come together to be of benefit to each other. Now, that is so. I tell you now that you should come and join Woman of Color, the Woman of Color Tell Your Story Facebook group. It's free and it's a closed group, so you have to answer a few questions and come in and join the conversation. And this is the beginning of a weekly video series that will be available on different subjects and with different people. Soon we will have the weekly podcast with interviews with women of color who have stories to tell, stories that will inspire or inform or educate or motivate in some way, stories that move us forward with understanding and grace and courage. These are the goals for the Woman of Color Tell Your Story Facebook group, podcast, videos, and other activities to come as the months go by. My name again is Skywalker Payne, and I am the founder of Vibrant Velvet Voice, an online business offering an array of services and products for women of color, for the woman of color who is moving from frustration to fulfillment. And for me, I moved from the frustration of working for other people, trying to succeed in different careers that really didn't bring me fulfillment, to finding fulfillment as an online entrepreneur. And it's an ongoing challenge, but it's actually fun. And you get to meet so many interesting people from all over the world. I've talked to people in places I may never see because, like I said, I've got that lazy gene and I like where I am. And the thought of getting on an airplane and going on another one, sometimes it's like, oh, come to Alaska. It's beautiful here. It's truly, truly beautiful. And it's not cold all year long. We have winter just like the rest of the country. We just don't have summer like the rest of the country. But we do have a little summer and green and blue skies and a wonderful farmer's market. That's where I live now. And I play a wooden flute. My husband, Brian Payne, is the founder of Zinc Comics, which is all over the internet. And we live on Ketchimak Bay in Homer, Alaska. And we make art and activities for creativity, inspiration, and motivation. And I've been able to stand up here for 20 minutes almost with an unplanned script. And I've probably gotten off topic a couple of times. This is, though, the first, the official opening of Woman of Color Tell Your Story. And be sure and come back next week or next time, depending on when you first see this one. The goal is to do at least one video a week. And I'd love to know what kind of topics you're interested in outside of fashion or health. Maybe certain aspects of wellness you may be interested in getting information on. And what kind of shows you'd like to see on video. What kind of blogs you'd like to get information written about. And where you live. And what your interests are. I'd love to hear from you. Wherever you are, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or Vimeo, wherever you are. Share your comments or click on the link and join the community. And please, above all, subscribe. And that way you'll never miss a show if you get notifications. Until later, have a wonderful week wherever you are in the world.